The second project I would like to present is called Google One Peace of Mind. It is a futuristic concept project. I worked on while freelancing in the San Francisco-based design agency called PunchCut. Before I continue, does everyone know what Google One does? Should I explain to you, what is Google One and what kind of service it provides? Google One is it's an app for parental control, family management, and also managing different Google services and product in one place. For example, you can use Google One to send allowance to your kids through Google Pay. You can also use Google One to split Wi-Fi bills, through Google Five. You can also share Google cloud storage space with Google Drive, and you can also send your family member money in the Play Store, and it can also be used as a parental control for the parents to monitor and manage their kids. For example, my daughter is spending too much time on the phone with her boyfriend, so I'm only going to limit the phone time every day to 30 minutes. And let's say if I have a son that plays too much game, I can say, he plays too much game. I'm only going to limit the screen time to an hour a day. Then for this kind of stuff. And since this is at a concept project agency, the process is a bit different. There are no developers no involved. I work primarily with my direct design manager and three other designers. So after Google handed us the kickoff document, we all did a deep dive. Then we did a virtual posted brainstorming in FigJam. Then we spent the next week or two converting our posted into ideation sketches and presented to the client. We met with Google twice a week to gather the feedback and modify our design accordingly. Then I began to come up with new ideas through wireframe. And at PunchCon, your interaction with the designer stops at a wireframe phase. So towards the end, I hand my wireframe into a visual designer and motion designer. They add colors and illustration to my design and bring them to life. And this is the G1 team. It's comprised of a variety of stakeholders from PM to designer to researcher and also strategists. And this is the PunchCut team. It has me, my design manager, three other designers, client account manager. Towards the end, a visual designer and motion designer also join the party. And since this is a concept project, Google didn't come to us with a specific problem to solve. On the high level, they want to think about how we can use Google One to connect a fragmented Google product in one place. They also want us to think about how we can utilize Google One to connect the family members together and make them feel protected and organized. Again, and this is a concept project, so these are some of the high level guidelines and the vision they want. They want us to think about and come up with our own definition of peace of mind. And they also want us to think about how the family and family roles can evolve and change over time. They also want to think about how monitoring works, and they wanted to improve the family sharing and activation UX. And here the persona and journey map for this project. And before I continue, I want to say that none of these documents I created on my own. They are provided. Google gave us three persona at the beginning, and we also created one more halfway through the project. The first persona is called Hummingbird Parents. They are one step down from helicopter parents, hence the name Hummingbird. They are the parents who want to use parental control and to monitor and manage their kids. The second persona is called Apart But Connected. They are basically divorced parents. We wanted to brainstorm ways to improve the cross custody experience for the kids and through Google One. The third persona is called Roomy Household. They are recent college graduate in the 20s, live in the city, sharing flats with friends. We want to think about how we can use Google One for them to split phone bills, to split cloud storage, split Wi-Fi, and share Google TV and that kind of stuff. The fourth persona was called multi-generational families. We added this, we created this persona halfway through the project. They are families with both grandparents, parents, and grandchildren. We want to think about, come up with ways to improve the parental experience for the kids and for the family. Again, this is the journey, my map. I didn't create it. My manager also signed another designer to create a journey map for each persona. We really want to dive deep and use our empathy to understand our user and come up with solutions that can solve their pain points. And this is the life cycle map my manager created. Well, again, I didn't make this. This diagram illustrates how the family member role can change when the parents create and activate and create account for their kids, and they go through a cycle. Once they turn 13, the role changes. They would have more freedom, and eventually the kids is going to grow up and they are going to go to college. They are going to leave the family and to start their own Google One family. And after we did a deep dive, we move on to the brainstorming phase. We did a virtual brainstorming in FigJam, and this is a screenshot of our brainstorming wall. This is a zoom in view of our brainstorming. We come up with a few how might we, but we spend most of our time coming out with ideas and solutions. And post-its with blue border are the ideas that was chosen. And this is there are four of us, and this is a column for each designer. So this is my column of ideas that were selected. So after brainstorming, we spent the next week converting our post-it into sketches. We held a few internal meetings before we showed them to the client. We also categorized them and placed them alongside different parts of the journey and life cycle. So this was the big presentation day. We show our sketches to the Google stakeholders and ask them to vote and comment on our ideas. And every designer had ideas that Google really liked. So here are a few sketches that they are well received by Google. The first idea I want to show you, it's called Cloud Video Converter and Shrinker. As we all know, QuickTime videos take up a lot more space than MP4. So my ideas was to have a special feature that can convert QuickTime video to MP4 to free up a lot of storage space in the cloud. And I was told that Google marked this as a high importance. They want to take it to production right away. The second idea I'm presenting is called Best Photo Selector and Combiner. This is through my personal experience. After I take the photo with my cell phone, I have to spend a lot of time to go through them and delete the ones I don't like and only keep the best photo. So what I thought, what if there's an AI algorithm that can do the selection for me, or even combine two photos into one to make a better photo, and then the AI can delete the rest of the photos with an undo button for me to recover them. I was told that the photo team thought this can be an interesting premium feature. The third idea is called Family Focus Homepage. This is my personal interpretation of peace of mind. At the time, I felt Google One's homepage was the primary focus was on upselling services the user hasn't subscribed. So what puts my mind at ease is the ability to quickly overview and monitor my family member with chronic disease and their health condition. For example, if I have a grandparents with heart disease, or if I have a kid with diabetes, what put my mind at ease is to be able to easily view and monitor their health. The next idea is called Geotag Member Tracker. This is to leverage on the acquisition of Fitbit. Again, this is my definition of peace of mind. Now, what put my mind at ease is the ability to track my pets and family members when they get lost outside of the house. The last idea I want to show you is called Additional Membership Add-on. Originally, this idea was for divorced parents. But later on, we decided that Google wanted to come up with a safety vault feature for Google Drive. So we thought it can also be a way for the family to share sensitive documents with internal stakeholders. For example, let's say I want to share the medical record with my doctor, or I want to share the legal document with my lawyer, and so forth. And I have more ideas that Google liked, but due to time constraint, I'm only showing 5. After the sketch phase, my manager created a service map. Again, I didn't make this. This is basically a journey map to illustrate the cycle of this, the life cycle of this product, from activation all the way to separation. I was tasked to take charge of the activation and setup UX. I met with other designers on a regular basis to ensure that the experience is coherent and seamless. We categorize, assign the sketches to different persona and different phases of the journey. Unfortunately, there were not that many sketches on activation, so I have to come up with my own ideas. So here's the idea, my ideation process. I created 7 ideas of how we can add and activate and add member from more recent to slightly more futuristic. This the first idea. My first idea was adding family member through Wi-Fi. This is meant to be used when everyone's in the same room. I thought it would be great. Now we can use Wi-Fi to pick up their devices and send them the request. The second idea is more current, is through adding family through an AI chatbot. Basically, they have to answer a series of questions, then to add them. The third idea is to add members, a family member through shared services. Let's say everyone in the house use a Gmail or use Google Drive. We can detect their account and send them a request. The fourth idea is facial ID. I thought that would be great if there's an AI that can recognize everyone's face, so we can just take a photo, then the AI can pick up the Google account and send a request. No, I had a few more ideas, but due to time constraint, I'm only showing 4. And here is the design refinement process. So this is the evolution of the onboarding US. At first, this is what I presented to Google at first. I thought this is after doing onboarding, we can link different services together. And when the Google stakeholders saw this, they say, they said they want to upsell the services the members haven't subscribed. So I went back to the drawing board and showed them this, in the next meeting. And when they saw this, they go, no, wait a minute, no, this is not an upsell moment. This is a celebration moment. So I went back to the drawing board again and came up with a storyboard. So what was intended to link different Google services together became the storyboard for an intro animation. And this is how we detect and add family member. Wi-Fi ad was the unanimous favorite by my design manager and Google stakeholder. They thought this is really interesting and creative, even though it was a bit technical, challenging, and impossible at the time. So this is how it works. Now we can click the first option, then the app would search for other family members' devices, in the Wi-Fi network, and then their device and profile will show up. We can click on the plus icon to send them a request. We can then select a membership type, whether it's a kids under 13, above 13, manager, co-manager, or au pair, and then they can add it to family tree. Then we can send out the invite. Then the member will receive a push notification once they open it. They can review the membership detail. They can choose to reject and approve. Once the members approve it, it will show up on the manager's dashboard. And I want to say that the third and fifth wireframe was not done by me. It was created by another designer. But I'm the one that came up with this flow and using push notification for them to receive the invite. And here is the final design. Again, the visual design and animation was done by another designer. I didn't work on this. So like I said, what was intended to be linking different servers together became the intro animation. And this is how we detect and add family through Wi-Fi. And the visual designer continued to refine my idea. They add a little drop down so they don't need another page to select a membership type. So once they send it out, this flow is done. Then once they send it out, the family member will get a push notification. They can open it and accept the request. Once they accept it, their profile will appear on the dashboard. Again, these were not done by me. No, they didn't make another animation because these are two separate. We need two separate phones. This is for the kids of other family member. This is the parents' phone, and it's very short, so there's no need to make an animation for it. And since this is a concept project agency, the metrics of success is a bit different. So the first metric is how creative and innovative is our ideas. We're tasked, to look 3 years ahead. So did we push the envelope far enough, but also not too far? And once the concepts are selected, how well do we refine and execute the ideas? And also, do our ideas have production potential? And how satisfied is Google with our handout documents? And are they coming back to PunchCut for more projects in the future? And here's my next step. This is my educated guess on what Google is going to do after the project is over. I assume they are going to go through the presentation and review each idea we submitted. They are going to select the ones that they want to take to production and keep the rest in the back burner for inspirations. That's the end of this project. Do you have any questions?